Good evening. This is the Natural Resource Inventory and Mapping Committee meeting online. Attending are committee members Karen McKnight and Sandy Wilmot, and our guest Craig Volpe. Is that how you say your name? Volpe?
Volpe works either.
Good. There's no, unless you have some public comment, Craig, we have no public here. Craig,
Well, I guess I do have a public comment. How do we open up the geodatabase or shape files?
so right now, the thing you can look at is the one that's outside of that, the interactive map. You can just click on it and it should open.
Guess I got, okay, thanks. I'll keep on clicking away and looking for it. All right, thanks.
Okay. Uh, So, Craig, if you're interested in joining this committee, you just send an email to Brad Holden
Okay,
and saying you'd like to volunteer and a little bit about why you're interested in the committee. Then he'll bring that to the select board at, I guess their next regular meeting is the 27th. So that would be
next
next
week.
Thursday. Yeah, something
Okay.
like that. Uh, okay, let's see. I spoke with Michael Lou Smith at Arrowwood today to talk a little bit about the mapping that they did as part of phase one and discuss what will happen as part of phase two, what our role will be, and some of the discussion about uh,
Yeah.
funding and that sort of thing. Um, if you'd like, I can pull up the map on my screen and we can just talk through it a little bit. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I gotta get my glasses.
That is assuming I can actually do this. Let's see.
I think you can. You're pretty good with that.
Let's see what I want is this one. Okay, my question is, can you see that? And how can I make it big enough so
Yes.
you can see it okay?
I zoomed it in, sort of.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Can you see it at all, Craig?
Are you using Windows or are you using Chrome? Are you using Chrome?
No, I'm using
Are you
Edge.
using Chrome
No,
Edge?
I
Press
think
F11, Sandy.
Me? F11.
F11. It
That's
might work.
green.
No, that didn't work.
No.
what
Okay.
are you trying to make it larger?
Yeah,
Or are
full
you trying to
screen.
make I've got it sort of full screen on my screen.
Okay. Well, she was trying to figure out how to make her screen full screen.
Oh, I see. Oh, I know. I see what you're
Yeah.
trying to do.
So if you click on the window that you have open, the web page, and then you press F11 on the keyboard, um, that probably work. Did that work?
It it didn't work for me. It's the go-to meeting that doesn't seem to do that for me. I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah. Anyways, just trying to help.
If you both can look on oh, let's see. Hmm.
I open mine to 100%.
Yeah, that's
larger?
right. Yep. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
Well, the thing that if you're each looking at your own, then I can't like walk you through it is the thing.
No, we're looking at yours on our screen.
yeah, we're
Oh,
looking,
okay.
yeah, so
Oh,
you can walk us through it because we just made it a little bit
great.
bigger.
Okay. So one of the things that they have to change is the directions at the top. It's backwards. It should say slide right to land cover. So when you slide this way, this is the land cover map. And then to slide left, you get the natural community map. And I suggested that they merge that and not have two separate maps like that because what you really want to do is use these layers to look at what you want to see. So if we go back to the land use one, over on this far left is the legend, and you can go down to the land cover classes, and then you can zoom in on the map um, and point to whatever you want. This is obviously forest, and it'll pull it up, and it also so it'll tell you the land class, land use. It's a deciduous forest. The natural community is a northern hardwood forest, and this particular forest block is 286 acres. Then if you go down at the bottom, there's additional information by clicking this, and it says it's actually a hemlock northern hardwood forest.
You know, what I'm
And
seeing on this, I have a question.
sure.
Well, for this map, how do you know? Oh, I'm seeing the classes are what the colors are here. I
Yeah,
mean, what are the
so
how do you know, for example, when you were saying deciduous forest, is there a color distinction that's saying that somewhere? A code?
okay, so I've gone a little beyond what's on this map. So
Okay.
looking at the map, the green is forest. Let's see wherever we can go over here, and this color here is open, I guess, yellow. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Um,
Yeah.
and the pinkish is developed. So that's what's on this map.
Mm.
And then if I slide my uh, the cur is it right away? Go ahead. If I slide this over, then what we're looking at now is the natural community map. And then you can move up to this other legend, which is the upland natural communities,
Oh, nice.
the
Okay.
wetland natural community, and um, and all of that. So I will zoom in on an area here. And so you can see like this one right here, it looks like it's the red oak northern hardwood forest. If you want to confirm, you click on it, and that's when this comes up, and this is what it's mapped at. And it
Wow.
also, um, I don't like where that is. How do I change that? Hmm. Uh-oh.
You know, if you click just somewhere else, maybe you're talking about the
Oh, the
layerless
legend. Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Um, yes. So, yeah, you're right. Um, and this little one is a dry red oak white pine forest, and it's just 3.7 acres. So there's really quite a lot on here. Sometimes they say things like south-facing slope or something like that.
Hmm.
Um,
That would indicate some good mushrooms are probably there growing in the summer.
yeah.
Got your priorities straight.
Um, yeah, right. So I could just spend forever zooming in and looking at places that I know of or places that I didn't know that those particular things happened. It's really
Mhm.
pretty interesting. Um, then if you use the layer feature, you can turn these on or off. So say I only want to look at the wetland communities, then I turn off other things and just have the wetlands there. And that way you can focus on certain things rather than everything. Now, I did ask him about vernal pools. When I was just glancing at this, I didn't see any vernal pools, and he said he used the state map as well as what BCE has been collecting, but not everything is going to show up here because I don't know, Karen, if you remember, there's some process where um, if if it's confirmed, they won't put it on the map unless the landowners agree to have it on the map, or there's some process there. I for
I think that's the case
Yeah,
because that might have implications for their development or
yeah,
developments. Yeah, I don't remember the reason. I thought maybe it was that. I
That would
know
make
I can,
that would make
yeah,
sense.
yeah. So remember when Steve Facio came and we went to the vernal pool that was up here?
yes.
Well, that is on there. Uh, it says nice looking vernal pool. I wish I could get rid of this black thing.
Hmm. Oops.
Um,
Yeah, I was thinking about that there probably are some really beautiful uh, wood tree frog eggs or spotted salamander eggs floating around in a vernal pool up in the woods somewhere that I'd love to go look at.
mhm.
So, Sandy, what's that on the right? There's three buttons. What's that top one then? Open screenshot. Oh, it's just screenshot. Never mind.
Yeah. And
All right.
then printing.
Yeah. All right. I was just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, I know. It seems like I should be able to make the screen bigger, but oh well.
And oh, Moose Run, so that huge sort of a grayish blue is all wetland up in there.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah, shrub, yeah, hemlock swamp.
Baltimore
Ash,
black,
yeah.
yeah, mixed swamp. And they also have like confidence level based on what they know.
Hmm.
Uh, Anyways, there's a lot to explore here. Um, let's see. Some of the discussion we had was if we know of things that exist that they haven't mapped, they can add it and they'll just verify it in the field. So there may be things up by your house, Karen, that you know of that aren't on the map. Um,
Hmm.
I can think of a few things that I was thinking should be on the map, but then again, I'm not sure exactly how all the natural communities get mapped. So um, there's just a lot of great information on here.
Yeah.
Um, it is, however, still sort of draft because they'll be verifying certain things in the field, and it doesn't include all the wildlife features that we're hoping to add to it. So the question in my mind is how we might use this now, or who gets access to it, those kinds of questions. I'd hate for people to think the map isn't good because certain things aren't on there yet, or things like that. So, what is your feeling on that, Karen?
I think that when would there be more things on the map and make it more useful? Is that, I guess, I mean, right, I'd like to see it a little bit more complete before people start criticizing it if they do, because there aren't things on it. And yet, on the other hand, if it's a fairly long wait, then maybe we should start using it now. I mean, and explain that these are the things currently on it, and moving forward, we will have more. But what do you think? I mean, Craig, if you saw this, would you suddenly be thinking of things that are missing from it? Or, I mean,
Um, Personally, no. I mean, I would personally look at it as like this is a hell of a lot of work. But I generally don't have much of a myopic view as far as landscapes go. So I think for the general public, that might be a wiser decision to call it a work in progress and have potentially an email or someone to reach out to fill out a form that has a location, what do you think it includes, where is it, etc. And turn their gripe into something to do about it. So
I like it. Yes, yes.
um, yeah, flip the problem on its head. So it's like, if you want to say that it's not complete, start listing places, what type of communities you believe that they are, um, and where they're located. I wouldn't expect the public to say something that says, "Hey, there's a cedar forest that's 2.6 acres and it's located at the bottom of Craig's driveway." It's like I wouldn't expect something like that to occur. Um, but maybe approximate size might be a useful category. But how do we crowdsource this? I guess is the way to summarize my response to your question, Karen.
Mhm.
How do we crowdsource this and have the community do work for us and point out the more prominent locations?
Hmm.
That's a nice approach.
Well,
Um,
yeah, because like you said, like even if it is comprehensive, they'll be like, oh, there's this tree in this location. Why is it not considered? I don't know. I'm picking on cedars. Why is it not considered a cedar forest? And you know, you gotta look. You gotta see the forest for the trees.
yeah.
Um, I'll be one.
Okay. A little bit about the timing. Um, so their contract will be finishing once we sign off on whatever product, because as you know, we had decided to have them not produce their final report, since we are going to have them do additional work over the next year. So the final product for this phase one will be this interactive map, the GIS layers, which will be completed over the next couple of weeks. And as a written document, I was thinking of asking them to make a list of all of the natural communities and the acres in, sort of a total acreage, just as a way to have a documentation of what they found and what we have in Underhill. And that would serve as this phase one, and would be finished, I think, by the end of April. So this part of the map will be finished, and then for the additional information, it won't be finished until next year at this time. A lot of the road crossing information for
Mhm.
wildlife is done in the winter, so that part won't be finished until then.
And Sandy, did you connect with Brad because of the sort of disappointment of not getting funds? What did he say about?
Well, it was a funny thing. I thought we had, just 13,000 allocated for the first half and the second half, but he said there's 17,000 in the budget, and he knew Nick had to wanted to use some of that for training, but basically, we could use most of it, which is really, let me pull up on the screen now um, the phase two request that they had put together. So this is what they'd be doing in this phase two.
So it's 17,000.
If we want, the thing that would make the most difference is the amount of field work that they do. Um, yeah. So in my opinion, based on what Brad told me, we're okay.
Then they can just start working phase two, you
Uh,
know.
Not until we have the contract, which really won't start until July 1st
Uh,
because of the fiscal year. So, yeah, pretty soon. Yeah. So they would be doing remote wildlife mapping.
mhm,
Not sure exactly what that means. Maybe it's more to do with using Biofinder and stuff. I don't know.
maybe.
Um, and then these other parts. The final report um, would include, I guess, we had asked for a presentation to our committee and then another presentation to the select board and the public
Mhm.
that way. So that's what we got.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
I am too.
I saw in that budget, was it 7,000 or 9,000 for field work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's sort of, what would our role be in terms of that?
So we would need to do the landowner contacts.
Mhm.
And what he was suggesting was that they look at where they think the priorities for field work are, and
Mhm.
then we can identify those parcel landowners and make contacts. Um, he was thinking that there's often a delay between, when we get a hold of landowners and all of that. So if we could identify some landowners who we know are willing, then they could kind of mix and match the ones that they prefer along with others where there might be good verification of natural communities or wildlife information that way. So, I'm sure we can come up with a list of landowners who would love to have them do some additional inventory on their land. Uh, so it would be a combination there. So starting in July, probably we would want to be in contact with them to do that back and forth exchange of where they want to work, that sort of thing.
Okay. Whoops, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there. Okay. I don't know. There, I lost you for a second. All right. So starting in July. Yeah, I'm sure we can.
One thing we could do actually is we might uh, do some front porch forum stuff that would really help people know that this project is going on, and that we'll be contacting landowners for permission. And if there's people that would like to have them come, they can contact us. I wonder about that approach.
Mm-hmm. Okay, clues weather. Yeah.
So would we want to prioritize the people who own larger properties in terms of acreage?
It
So that,
depends. If it's um, there's some really large parcels that are pretty similar throughout the whole thing versus others where you saw that map, there's just a confluence of different types of natural communities, and maybe that's what they want to look at. I don't really know. Um, I was also thinking those large landowners would be a good place to start because, boy, then you've covered a lot of acreage,
yeah,
right?
it's efficient in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then also, where are their priorities as far as where they have seen that they would want to go? That's another
right.
question I've asked.
Yeah. And that's what they would let us know in July when we start that work, I guess.
I'm assuming that remote work would be some sort of like aerial work in terms of assessment using drones, perhaps, or
Mhm.
that's what my guess is.
Hmm.
But I'd be curious how they did it remotely
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
question.
because it's fairly detailed. I can't pull it up at the same time as having you guys going because my internet and my computer is just like, nope. Otherwise,
You
I'd be
see it?
poking around on it right now. It looks like something that would be good to get lost in.
It will, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so if we agree on the phase 2 things that they're to do, then I can work with Brad on creating that new contract for them. Um,
Yes.
okay, you're in agreement?
I'm in agreement. Yeah,
Good.
clearly. Um, and yes, definitely. The other thing that pops into my head is, remember we talked about the community values map that we
Yeah,
were thinking of doing with, what we wanted to do with Yen? I'm
yeah.
wondering if we use these maps as maps that would used to say, we're, seeing all these rivers and everything. Do you really want to have a, what do you think about this area or that area? Or should we wait or not use these maps at all?
After we didn't do that community values mapping, I heard a lot of people were were kind of concerned about that having everybody else in town tell them that their land should be used for recreation, or there's a lot of um, hesitancy to have that sort of thing done because it's a popular opinion about land use, which I can see their concerns. That really wasn't the way we're going to use it. It was more about identifying areas where um, that were important in town to people. What you do with that is different. It wouldn't appear on our map, but it might be something that the Conservation Commission pursues with landowners, but it wouldn't be a takeover of land or anything like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I remember there was a little bit of pushback kind of. Oh, well.
So I'm
Right.
I'm all for sticking to this for right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Point taken. Well said. Yeah.
Well, good. I think I will also ask Brad about using these preliminary maps and how we might want to do it. Um, to make it useful for people, maybe there needs to be some that are printed that could, reside at the town office. Not everyone is going to be savvy enough to play with the interactive map. So just, in terms of having it accessible to everybody.
Yeah. I hope he goes for that.
Yeah. All right. We can certainly talk more about what we want to do with these maps at future meetings. I'll get the contracts going and we'll keep this baby plugging along. Huh?
Okay.
Um, let's talk about the big tree contest and
Okay.
Green Day, and any summer outreach on that we might want to do. You had some big ideas about Green Up Day last time, Karen. What is taking shape at this point?
What's taking shape is Betsy Chapik. It will be doing leading a tour of the Crane Brook area. And she is, she's well versed actually in botany. So that'll be kind of interesting. Um, we're having information out that has to do with ticks, black, black bears. We don't have a whole list here. I think I wrote it down. Okay. Okay. Oh, no, I didn't. All right. So, I'm trying to remember. Okay. So we're going to be having informational material out on wild parsnip, ticks, black bears, jumping worms, and I think there's one other one that we were going to have. And Penny,
Miller?
yeah, Miller is going to be bringing some of her pet jumping worms to show people what they are,
Oh, interesting.
demonstrate, and talk about how to kill them or get rid of them or what to watch for. Jay Meadows, who is part of Exemplars, but I think he still teaches school as well, had invited high school students to a meeting. I believe it was on the sometime this week to talk about their feelings of the environment and get their feedback on what to do about. It's not really a what to do, but what do you think about the environment? What do you think about climate change? And I thought that was a really good perspective if he gets people to come, because then I asked him if it would be okay. We don't have to identify who the people are, but to have some quotes of our students and their buy-in or involvement with their feelings for the environment might be nice to have.
Hmm.
We're going to have food again, another barbecue. I think Brad's going to be cooking hot dogs and having water and things like that. And I'm wondering if I've forgotten something else. And then you're going to be talking about how to measure trees, a big tree
Well,
contest, or
I'm
not?
actually not, I have something else going on Green Up Day, but I did Ryan say he was going to be available? I forgot.
I think he may have said that. I'm hoping so.
Well, what I was wondering is if we go up and identify some trees and, maybe put little tags on them or
Mhm.
something, and I don't know, people could go up and identify the species and measure them
Yeah.
uh, as big trees. Just, nah, that won't work.
Well, it would be good to, I think we had talked about identifying a tree, like this is a big, this is a cherry, or this is a white pine. A couple, a few around so people have an idea about the tree, but then I thought we were going to have information and maybe Ryan will talk about how to measure them to a group of kids, perhaps. Yeah.
Uh,
Were
The other thing we were gonna do was to have the map that Ryan created of where the big trees are. Um,
yes.
and if we have that available, then people can actually see what the big trees are and, the nice pictures on that map. Um, I thought I could print out the list of all of the trees that have been measured and how big they were, and then we can encourage people to go out and measure. Maybe we should list the prizes.
Oh, I think we should. Yeah.
Um, I can make sure we have the poster and then this additional information about big trees. Um, but where would it hang, or what kind of you just have a tent with a table or something?
Well, we have tables out. Now, if it's raining, they're going to be in the garage, probably out of the weather, or
Okay.
we don't have a tent unless I'll have to ask Brad about that if he has a tent he'd like to use. But we are planning to like display them on some way, like an easel or something. And actually, I have one easel, might have two easels I could bring for use. And that's about it. I think that's all we covered at the Conservation Commission meeting a week ago were those things. And we'll see. And of course, we're going to have dumpsters, 3 dumpsters, and uh, you know, distribution points for the Green Up Day bags, obviously. And
Okay, well, we'll get this stuff together for Green Up Day, and then the other thing this summer was kind of piggybacking on the food truck nights and having little encouraging things for people to do big trees there.
Yeah.
Um, so once we have all of these things for Green Up Day, we can just bring them to those. And um, I think we need some little slip that says, oh, the big tree contest and maybe how to enter it or something there.
Okay.
Do you know anything about this, Craig? Our big tree contest? No, don't
I
know.
think you're muted. You're muted, Craig. He may not know anything. It's on the website. I've talked about it, but I don't think that he's actually.
I've seen it in the Porch Forum. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Can
A little bit, yeah.
you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it on Front Porch Forum. And I've seen what it has to do with big trees.
Okay.
Um,
That's
I
all I
think
know.
I'll increase publicity on Porch Forum and Facebook and try to get more. I mean, this year there's only one person that's measured their trees, so
Go so far. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Oh, maybe we can get the rec committee engaged with that. I think Anton's going to be on vacation this next week, but maybe we could talk up to Anton about engaging with the big trees. I think that was something we were going to ask and have them sort of talk it up among the rec group kids for, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Okay. Right, and you said the first one isn't until June for that?
The first, it's June, like 17th or 15th. They're June, July, August, and September, so there'll be 4 of them. And I think is it the second or third Friday of the month?
Okay. So we
Yeah,
can finalize things at our next meeting for that. We'll
yeah,
just focus on Green Up Day for now.
okay.
Uh, any other business tonight?
I just apologize for, I was over actually bringing a little something for a neighbor who had just retired. And
What?
he's a talker, so I just totally wasn't focused on getting home. I didn't realize what time it was, so my apologies.
That's it. It worked out fine. We're ending at 7:30, and
Good.
so our next meeting will be May 16th at 6:30, and
Okay.
I hope you can make it, Craig, and we'll have Ryan here. Ryan Oakes is our fourth member, or our other member that's on here.
I'd like to get home sooner than 6, 10, or 15, whatever it was. So, yeah, I'll
Um,
try to.
Okay. Good.
we could talk about our meeting time and our meeting date too. We set this a few years ago, and maybe people would prefer a different time or date.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk about this later, I guess, off the record, just as far as like my capacity to be able to commit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you can join, and
Yeah,
whatever you can give us is going to be great. So,
Yeah. Ideas. His ideas.
yeah, right.
Yes.
that, that's asking a lot for me at the end of the day.
Well, we could always hold a meeting at 5:30 a.m.
Oh yeah, you probably get me talking a lot at that time.
Yeah. I'm up, but I usually like to be more inward at 5:30.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah, that's the only quiet time that I have to myself.
So I would like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
All right. All right. Thank you.